What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for tuning in. It's me, Mikey Pipes. I'm about to take you on a service call for an existing residential client. It's got a 3-family house, first floor, second floor, third floor, boilers on the third floor, and yet again, the first floor is not working. We were there last week. He thought he was going to get a free zone valve that was still under warranty, but the zone valve wasn't the issue. The issue was the relief valve continuously dripping because he doesn't want to pay to replace it. Let's go! Well, Derek, I went back and forth a few times to give myself a little path there. Hope we don't get stuck when we leave. But man, we got a lot of snow, man. A lot of snow. Crazy. All right, Derek, if you recall, the other day he thought it was going to be free. He thought it was going to be free. Question is it going to be over a G, under a band or above a band? What do you think? 1 band or 2 bands or no bands?
Hoping it's above.
Hope it's above.
Hello.
We're back.
All right.
All right, up we go?
Yes, up we go.
Okay, up we go.
Get to the first floor, look at the thermostats.
Okay, we'll check that. Let's see.
It says call for service. It does pass. You know what I did? I even switched it. You want to see it, and we'll see how it works.
All right.
So it's not the thermostat.
Nope. All right, up we go. All right. Let's see what we got. We got that relief valve still dripping. She's still dripping. Hot. Not so hot. Hot. Yeah, it got me. All right, let's check pressure in the tank. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, 12 and a half. Tank's good. Yeah. And a little under 20. And that relief valve is dripping. All right. Circulator circulating. Like I said, the expansion tank tests okay. It has 12.5 PSI in it, which is what it's rated for. I'm surprised by that, to be honest with you. I thought the expansion tank was no good, but your boiler pressure is reading a little under 20 PSI, yet the relief valve is dripping. And if you recall from when I was here last week, and also from the time, several months ago, your relief valve is discharging water. So is that affecting flow to the first floor? There's no other things to factor into that. So I'm still suspecting this expansion tank because I don't see relief valves.
That was changed. Remember?
I don't know exactly when it was changed, but I don't know exactly when it was changed. When was it changed?
Changed.
4 years ago? Okay, maybe, but but there's an indicator piece.
You not change it?
Maybe I would have to look it up, But there's an indicator.
It's too small. And change to a big one.
Okay, I don't remember. I do 700 calls a year. I can't remember. I would have to look it up, but we need to make the leak go away and replace that relief valve, and hopefully that solves the problem as long as the pressure gauge is correct. So let me tell you what your charge for that is, and hopefully nothing else is wrong. But the water that's coming back from the first floor is warm. It's not hot. The other ones, I can barely keep my hand on it. So either you're losing temperature faster than it's getting it. Your heat gain is lower than your heat loss, or you're just airbound something. Because I keep my hand on it, and leaving here, I can't. But I would change the relief valve. All right, let's take off the hose and drain the boiler. No washer, of course. Is there a washer here? No, I don't think there's a washer here either. Oh, I hate it when that happens. Got all these hoses with no washers. Man. Let's see. None of those have washers. Oh my God, let's hook it up here. Okay. We're gonna get some water leakage, but he's been dealing with that for a while. Boiler feed valve closed. That's the incoming domestic water. This is the pressure reducing valve. Takes that 50, 60, 70 psi of water. Domestic pressure brings that down to 12.5. That's closed. Open up boiler drain slowly. Like I said, I'm not too worried about water dripping here. As you can see, it's everywhere else. Crazy. What we got here? Empty box. Read me. Crazy. Let's pop open that relief valve so it does not get airbound. Let's adjust this. Oh man, who put this in there? Man. On the tool bag. Alright. So Hercules put this thing on. These cheap Max Power Amazon wrenches. Nothing like the Nipix. Alright. Let's close that. Wrong what? I told you. Alright, let's take a look at this old pressure relief valve. Alright. We lost the Teflon tape. So we gotta do this old school. Lamp wick and dope. There we go. Okay. What are you doing? You gotta put the Wait, you didn't just see me wrap the old one?
No, I didn't.
Oh. sorry. Alright. Get that on there. Yeah, I got the lamp wick on that. Some dope. Let's open up the boiler feed valve. Automatic air valve is getting the air out. All the zone valves are closed. Derek is wrapping that with the lamp wick. And we'll put that back on the relief valve discharge side. Let's fast fill the boiler. Alright. Bring that to around 20 psi. And now let's purge. Bucket and hose, please. Set that to manual open. Let's see how that does. Sure is weak. Alright, power back on. These are still closed. That's closed, that's open. So the only zone that's going to circulate is the first floor. Just want to see how quickly it heats up. There may be something wrong with the body of the zone valve, because it's weak flow coming out of here. Alright, I'm thinking something's stuck in this body of the zone valve head. So let's take it apart and put a new guts in there. Move this out of the way in case there's a little bit of water in there. Yeah, it helped if I turn that off. Let's see what it looks like in there. Want to cooperate there. You know, we have a little crescent wrench, a tiny little one. Are you smaller than this?
No, that's the smallest.
with the tiny crescent. I wonder what size this is. I think it's 5/16. Let me see a 5/16 driver. Curious. Yeah, look at that. Learn something new every day. 5/16 driver on those pieces that hold the front to it, but you need a deeper one for the one with the little nipple on it. Alright, and okay. Okay. All right, we're at 175 degrees. This is not that hot. This one's warmer though, for some reason, even though those are off. But let's close that. Let's open up this. Mucho caliente. Flow still kind of sucks, but that's coldish to the touch. That is blazing hot. Let's see if we get any air. Let's pop up that pressure reducing valve. Yeah, we're getting some air bubbles there. Let's try to keep that around 20 psi. Boiler went off at temperature 180 in the aquastat, so we know the temperature is correct on that. Pressure around 20. Wonder if that little piece is interfering with flow. Maybe it's just a hose.
Yeah, I don't think so. You're using a different one.
Yeah, 22 and change. Let's lower that. Well, sometimes you need a lot of pressure to get air pockets out. Gotta be mindful of our time on site. Still at 20. It's still cold. That's hot still. Hot cast iron boiler. Heating that water as it enters from the return. In and out. Here comes some air. Pressure is 25. Like I said, sometimes you need a lot of pressure to get those pockets of air out. We don't want to hit 30. To dump this bucket. All right, it's getting warm. Let's close. All right, let's dump the bucket. PSI. We are going down 3 floors, so maybe a few hundred feet of piping. Still around 25 PSI. hold this and open that up real quick. The air that's trapped here will come out. Still hearing that air. Okay. Getting better now. All right, so after about 10 gallons, closer to 30 PSI, we were able to get a lot more air out that we weren't getting with under 20 PSI, and sometimes that's the trick that's needed. Right now, the boiler's trying to make up temperature, so it's about 130 degrees maybe. A little over 20 PSI on the tridecator gauge. This is open, that first floor. I think this is second floor, third floor, but these are open, but I have those isolation valves closed, so only water is circulating to the first floor. This feels about 130 degrees, and this feels much hotter. Again, it's 3/4 inch pipe here, PEX, but it may not be full 3/4 everywhere. I know the area, and sometimes I use 1/2 inch or 5/8, but the guts of the zone valve are now new, so we'll have no restriction with that. I was wondering maybe the valve ball wasn't fully opening, restricting flow, but not the case. Now we wait. All right, we were at 180 degrees, maybe a little bit higher. Using our thermal camera, we're gonna see that that zone right there is 196.7, 197 degrees. Our return, 175, 176. So now let's take a look at the first floor apartment, see what it's doing. All right. So these covers have seen better days. All right, and you can see inside the wall where the PEX pipe goes. See that? It goes across. Look at that. Is this plastic? What is this? Yeah, plastic. All right, so number one, the covers, the bottom of the covers are hitting the floor. So it's not going to heat the room. You know what I mean? So the way these work, like you have convection here, right? Oh man. So you need to have open like this, so you keep air. The cold air goes through the underneath, goes through the elements, and then comes out. Like you're not allowing any convection with these. See, that's all touching the carpet there. Here, no, but you got to somehow raise those up, and I can't work with that plastic stuff. I'm sorry. And that's the problem, because you're not letting any air come in, and no natural convection occurs. Like that whole piece there, and here is okay. There's okay. But there, no, and it's going to be cooler in this room because it only like a little bit there. And also, you can see the fins, how all the fins are damaged. Like, see how they're nice and clean, like kind of like straight there, but yes, most of the places are all damaged. So those fins also need to be able to, let the air, it's convection, because it's like a circle. Cold air is traveling across the bottom. It gets brought up from the bottom of the front louver, goes through those fins, and it comes out the top. So this is a perfect example of the baseboard working right. Now look, so over there we were at 107 degrees. Here we're at 153 degrees.
Oh, okay.
Now this is real, I'm not saying what you have is not real, but this is metal, and the air, cold air travels across the bottom, goes through those fins and come out the top. And this one, coming out of the top, 145 now, 157, it's not exact here but this is heating perfectly. Derek, we were able to use the thermal imaging camera, and that top left pane of that double hung window was much darker than the others. So then we put our hand over there and noticed that the draft is coming right between the weather stripping, and that's what's causing the house not to get warm. You're losing heat. Pretty cool stuff. Multiple uses of a thermal imaging camera. Keep one in your tool bag. And if you're going to 2026 AHR in Vegas, Mikey Pipes will be a guest of ACIQ on Monday, February 2nd, and Tuesday morning, February 3rd. Hope to catch you there. All right, so we waited a little bit of time. Only that first floor zone is circulating. Our boiler lost temperature and it kicked back on. It was about like 3-4 minutes maybe?
Yeah, it was like 5.
Since we came up here, yeah. So we are circulating. So we know we are good. So now let's open up the other zones. We'll make sure that the zone valves are all open. We'll start with this one. Actually, let's purge just in case. Let's turn this off. Let's close that. Let's purge these one by one just to make sure. So open up zone valve, manual open position. Right there, open. And then manual feed. So it seems more intense with the zone 2. Keep an eye on our pressure, and we will do that until we're confident there's no air in the second floor zone, and then we'll go to the third floor. All right, all zones are purged. Get rid of our hose.
Whoa.
Yeah, fan center relay. A little clattering there.
That's normal?
No, but whatever. It is what it is. Fan center relay. All right. That's the hottest. I guess they're all kind of hot. 115-ish. And remember, folks, get your free magnet for your refrigerator, your water heater, your furnace, or even your car by email me, mike@mikeypipes.com, and I'll send you one anywhere in the United States. You have one down your car?